You might be wondering why David is all dressed up like the Michelin Man, and the answer is that the ceiling in the basement has seen its last day. It is time to remove all of the drop ceiling tiles. We had been plotting about what we wanted to do with the ceiling for quite some time because the tiles were really water damaged and so they had to go. And we took off a few tiles just to see what was going on beneath it. And under all of those nasty broken tiles was an entire plaster ceiling. That was such a nice surprise because we thought we maybe had to float another ceiling, do another drop ceiling situation, but we can just remove all of these tiles and get the plaster repaired when the plaster people come. This was the night before they were going to do a walkthrough. We removed some of the tiles and boards just so they could see what they were working with and give us a bid because this wasn't originally part of the plan. Hopefully it's not too much work. The area by the light is the only part with significant staining, but it doesn't really come loose to the touch, so we don't think it'll be that big of a problem. Fingers crossed that they don't tell us that the whole ceiling needs to be completely replaced. I made it look easy with the edit, David removing all of these support beams for the drop ceiling, but this was such a pain. It took him forever to remove all of these planks. We wanted to get this all down before they came so that we could have a nice, amazing, brand new feeling ceiling, even though it's the original ceiling. This part is so satisfying to watch him take down all of these tiles. To answer your question before you even ask it, yes, we have tested almost everything in the house for asbestos. We just assumed that these ceiling tiles would come back as asbestos positive, but they didn't. That was another nice surprise with this horrible basement ceiling that made our job a lot easier. David opted for the gorgeous Tyvek suit because of all the nasty, nasty dust and cobwebs that were behind the ceiling. When we did our little experiment a couple nights before where we took down some of the tiles, there was just plumes of dust everywhere. These things are just a total mess. So this just made cleanup so much easier. And we had bought the suit, honestly, thinking that all of these tiles were going to come back as asbestos. And you don't want to mess around with asbestos. It is so horrible for your lungs, and there's nothing you can do to reverse the effects. David also just has a touch of arachnophobia, so I think the suit was, in some ways, his spider protection suit. This is David cleaning up all of the tiles. It's also nice because since they aren't asbestos, they can just be taken straight to the dump. They don't need to go to, like, the special place where all the toxic hazard things need to go. We've had to deal with that before with joint compound that tested positive for asbestos in a different house, and it's just an added level of pain when you already have to deal with so much construction mess. The previous owners had also hidden some of the ducting in this box, and we ended up removing it because it reclaimed about 3 inches of head height in that space and just visually made it feel so much more like a main living space as opposed to a cramped basement. It has really high ceilings for a basement, so we're so excited for this space.